Peace to the family. We should be live. Let me move this Buddha mic closer to me. Get my water. All right, we about to start, family. Gonna be an amazing show today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being patient. Oh man, all right. Yeah, busy day today, family. Yeah, I'm not gonna play any commercials today, so let's get right into the show without any further ado. Want to welcome to the stage. The brothers come on this platform so many times, have dropped bombs so many times. The one and only Professor Griff, man. Welcome back, brother.
Peace, man. You said dropping bombs, probably dropping some seeds.
Okay.
I'm trying to plant some stuff so something can grow.
Oh man, there you go. There you go. I'm gonna say that from now. Planting seeds. I think is that a hip hop term? Dropping bombs?
Yeah,
Is that?
dropping bombs.
Yeah, that might be
I
it.
came to drop bombs. Yeah.
Hey Griff, man, we're gonna have a good conversation tonight. Like I said, I want to thank you for coming on again, man. A lot going on in hip hop right now. I love talking to you as an elder in hip hop. You give a perspective that we're not going to see very often in the mainstream media outlets or the mainstream blogs that's out there. You've been through so much in this game and you have so much to contribute to the culture. What's the name of your book? The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, right?
Yeah, I have it right. It's the Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, man.
Let me show that. Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah, I got that way back in the day. This is an amazing book, family. If you don't have it, you should definitely get it. Do you feel like bragging these days, Griff? When you see what's going on, do you feel like I told y'all niggas? Do you feel-
I try to refrain from that because that's young eldership like.
Okay.
I don't want to say I told you so, but those I try to have private conversations with individuals that really truly want to know, or small groups of people that truly want to know. But for the masses, it's exhausting for me to go back now and go back over the same information that I went over, even with what I laid out with Black Dot 10, 15 years ago, man. And I told some brothers, I said, I put it in the book. I did hundreds of lectures. It's like thousands of things on YouTube. I said, I put it out there. So I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so.
All right. Well, Griff, man, I'm gonna tell you, I seen a live you did on Instagram, and I was like, damn, I gotta do a show and talk with Griff about what's going on. Hip hop, one of the most influential cultures in the world and the globe. You see what's going on. They calling it like a hip hop civil war. I mean, it seemed like everybody's just beefing with each other all at the same time. This is looking real crazy in hip hop right now. Some people are for it, some people are against it. Some people like the competitiveness that it brings, and some people feel as though we on a different frequency, and they hate to see brothers going at each other like that. What I want to talk to you first about, Griff, like I said, I'm glad I get to talk to you about as an elder, and I get to get some wisdom and knowledge. I want to first start out by talking to you about the idea of competition, Griff. I remember one time I was listening to a Bobby Hemmett lecture. I don't know if I was watching a video or if I was there in person. One time Bobby Hemmett said something along the lines of, why does somebody have to win? Why does there always have to be a winner? Why can't we all win? I want to talk to you about the idea of first place, second place, third place, gold, silver, bronze. We this idea has been ingrained in us since we were children. Is this idea of you're the best, you're the second best, you're the third best, you're the fourth best? Is this when somebody, you try hard to achieve something and you surpass all your peers and you get awarded for it? Is this a European concept, or is this this idea of competition and winning and being number one, the GOAT, the greatest of all time? Is this something that existed in our culture way before the European even came on the scenes, Green?
No, I think this is a European construct yet again on the idea of having to compete. And I think Bobby Hemmett was definitely on it. This whole idea of competing in hip hop has been there, but it hasn't been to the detriment of hip hop as a whole. You understand what I'm saying? No one actually literally had to die. You understand what I'm saying? So the whole idea of being first, second, or third, and the GOAT or the GWOAT or whatever it is, there's always going to be someone that's coming after you way long after you're dead and gone that will probably do it a little bit better than you. Now, you may have been the GOAT at that particular time. You understand what I'm saying? But only in your area. There's 5 elements in hip hop. So do you find the graffiti artist competing and someone dying that got hit with a spray can or something? No. Do you find that in breakdancing? You probably find it in breaking. Now that's going to be in the Olympics. Do you find that with the you find that in battling with DJing? But it's healthy competition. It helps you sharpen your skills. Do you understand what I'm saying? When do we find that in MCing? I'm going through the 5 elements now. We find that in MCing, but almost to the detriment of someone losing their life, because some cats are really taking this serious. Not necessarily, I'm talking about dead serious. I'm not talking about the actual artists themselves, but the 20 cats in their entourage are taking it serious. Do you understand what I'm saying? Last but not least, do we find people competing when it talks about the 5th element, which is knowledge of self, which synthesizes the other 4 elements? Is it dead serious then? I don't find people competing about who read the dopest book and came out with the dopest essay after reading a particular book. You understand what I'm saying? I don't find the competition in the 5th element of hip hop. So when I'm researching and I'm studying, even before I did that live the other day, I says, damn, back when hip hop had a conscience, when did hip hop last have a conscience until J. Cole did what he did? When did hip hop have a conscience? Hip hop in and of itself is being manipulated, controlled by other people, and we're losing lives. And we don't find them other people on the other side losing lives. They're gaining wealth, generational wealth, at the hands of us losing our lives in a culture that they stole from us, repackaged it, and sold it back to us. And they sold us a culture of death. And the only time we see we can get ahead is if we're slaying somebody, or we got the dopest bars, or we bagged this person, or we murdered this dude, or we slayed this one. All the negative energy around the terminology that we use when we're battling. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is actually leading to the physical death of hip hop. Nas said hip hop is dead. What did he mean by that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or did he mean that the whole idea that hip hop, the premise that hip hop was built on, the foundation that hip hop was built on, is dead and gone, and we need to hit the reset button? I understood where he was coming from after a while. You understand what I'm saying? And I understood the dynamic in what he was dealing with at that particular time. If you look at his statement in the time that he said it, and you look at the state of hip hop, and you go back to the origin of hip hop, it wasn't even the same. After a while with hip hop, people were checking out; they weren't listening anymore. And then there was a resurgence that came in with a lot of the cats doing what they did in reference to the consciousness in hip hop, because hip hop had hills and valleys. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And I think right now we're in a valley, man, with hip hop, with rap. Not necessarily hip hop, but with one element of hip hop, with rap. We're in a valley to the point where how many other people got to die before we recognize that someone else is manipulating this thing behind the scenes? This is what I meant behind the psychological, the psyche of it all, the study of the psyche, the hidden war on hip hop, high infinite power, healing our people.
So you're basically, you don't think that, you think this is an organic beef. You think this is being orchestrated. Well, let me just give a little context for those who may not know what we are referring to. You know, hip hop has this thing called, sometimes MCs battle each other. They may put out what we call diss tracks, and it shapes the culture. It may not seem that important to you, but it has an impact on, because hip hop is so influential. So an example would be Biggie and Pac family, where a lot of people got hurt on beefs on both coasts. The whole world changed because two young brothers under 25 were beefing with each other. That is how powerful hip hop is. So it is very important that we address a topic like this and try to get to the bottom of this. Because when I had Professor Small on, Professor James Small, he said Pac told him that the media was instigating about their beef between him and Big, and they actually want to start a distribution. So it's very important we use our media outlets, family, to tell our side of the story. It's not 1990 something no more. We have the internet, so the tables have changed. With that being said, J. Cole did something unprecedented. He did something that we haven't seen before. He put out a diss track to Kendrick Lamar. First, Kendrick put his joint out. J. Cole responded by putting something out, 7-minute drill. Then he did something that nobody never seen before. He got on stage, he was performing, and he said it wasn't sitting right with him. He said that's not him, Griff.
Right.
He said he wants to take it back. He said he don't want to be a part of this.
Right.
He said he wants to take it off of streaming services.
Right.
The Warrior, it appears that the Warrior, now I don't know if you call it Warrior immaturity in men, is like, this nigga is soft. We got that spirit. We want to see competition, Griff. We want to see them go at it. We want to see lyrical excellence being displayed one toward another. So give me your thoughts on the move that J. Cole did, as well as people who love lyricism want to see two of the best go at it, just for the sake of seeing the best sharpen each other's steel. Griff, talk to me.
Well, first of all, you said something earlier about this hip hop civil war thing.
Yes.
Who benefits? I just want to throw that out there. Who benefits in a hip hop civil war? And you just mentioned it. We went through a phase in hip hop where we had Tupac and Biggie, and both of them had mentioned in interviews or in private conversations to people that they didn't have the beef that we thought they had with one another, and it was manufactured by someone else and some other entity. And now that we know, and we're digging up more information about what's happening with your man Puffy right now, we're seeing how.
There you go, Griff. There you go.
You see now when he put them cameras in his homes, them other people came in and put in some other cameras and microphones and caught some things that he didn't want to be caught on tape and on film. You understand what I'm saying? So now we know certain people were installed in the music industry to keep these beasts going, to the point now where these people that manufactured this whole particular thing is now coming to collect bodies. I'm going to say that again. The people that manufactured this consent is now coming to collect bodies. Hold on. I talked about it in my book, The Psychological Covert War in the 8th Degree. Destroying hip-hop's appetite for self-destruction from gangster to gay. I laid it out in the book. In the interview that I did with Brother Inwali Muke Bomani Baruti. I did it in another interview in the conversations that I had with Black Dot. I laid it out, and then the chapter after that, hold on, Brother Rich, bear with me.
No problem.
The chapter after that, hold on, is the 9th Degree, which is Hustlers of Culture, is bigger than hip-hop, is beyond beats and rhymes. Well, if that's the case, back to the question. If it's a hip-hop civil war, who's manufacturing this particular civil war? And then at the end of the day, who wins? We've had a history of cats beefing, and the beef now becomes, it takes on a life of its own outside of hip-hop. So who wins? Who wins? So this whole idea now of healthy competition, in a genre now that is not adhering to its elders, is not adhering to the founding fathers of hip hop, is not adhering to the tenets of hip hop, is not adhering to the 5 elements. It's just running wild right now. So now a simple beef that may seem like it's simple, it may seem like it's healthy competition, is not healthy anymore. It's really toxic now. And I think this is the thing that J. Cole recognized as a growing young man. He mentioned the fact that his people was like, yo, it's wartime, man. His people wanted blood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bloodthirsty savages, man. They bloodthirsty savages, man. That he said
Right.
he was reading comments and he was listening and hearing what the people were saying. They were ready. They were ready. They were bloodthirsty, blood dripping from their mouths, man. They wanted to see somebody go down in lyrical bloodshed. You understand what I'm saying? Which that in and of itself, if you're not mature in how you handle these particular things, someone could easily lose their life, Brother Rich. Someone can easily lose their life. Let me show you what I wrote at the end of the first page right here.
Okay.
I said students are merely trained not to think for themselves. They are to obey their leaders and the system without question. You can't even question what is going on. They are taught to obey, to do as they're told, and if they do, the great chance of them moving up in the echelons of the higher hierarchy, not only in hip hop, will be great, and they will receive their reward, Brother Rich. And in this case, if he slayed Kendrick Lamar, chewed him up, ripped him up, drew some lyrical blood, you understand what I'm saying? That would set Kendrick Lamar at the top of the big three, which is Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and there's a couple of them are following fourth and fifth. You understand what I'm saying? But then what's your reward, man? What's your reward if you can't even sleep at night, J. Cole? And he admitted this. He said the world wanted me to shed blood. He said, and I refused to do that. It didn't sit right with me. He said he had over 1,000 missed calls, 1,000 text messages, and 1,000 missed calls. So they were asking him to shed some blood. Now, let me ask you something, Brother Rich. What if one of them brothers would have died as a result of this from somebody from their crew or their entourage that took this personal outside of this quote-unquote beef or outside of this lyrical competition? And most times they do.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
So they go from a lyrical drive-by to a physical one. And somebody end up losing their life because now somebody becomes an op. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He says, I was moved in a spiritual way. And he said, this ain't even me. He said, this is the lamest shit I've ever done. He said, I got in tune with myself, with the God energy in me. And I said, you know something? I need to do something different. He started his next song and he told his people, man, take that down from the streaming services, man. I don't even want to move that way. I'm not even trying to. And that shows maturity on his part. Maturity inside of an industry that is people around him and the industry wanting him to do something totally diametrically opposed to his nature. And he chose to do something different. And that shows his growth. Salute to that brother, man. Salute to J. Cole.
Yeah, what you're saying, I seen Lil Boozy say something like that on the internet. He said it's all fun and games till someone's son dies.
Exactly.
But what I want to ask you though, Griff, is so what do you think if we're gonna look at it like from that perspective in hip hop, does that mean nobody should ever battle anybody? Does that mean the idea of battling another MC should be put to rest?
Can I ask you something? How would you have felt if Marvin Gaye would have battled Stevie Wonder and then Stevie Wonder's daughter or son died? How would you feel?
Would have felt real bad.
How about Earth, Wind, and Fire battle, Lakeside or the Barcades or one of these other groups, or Frankie Beverly and Maze, and then they come after Frankie Beverly and Maze's children.
Right.
Or they spray up his house. You understand what I'm saying? You see, when we put it in those terms, it looks really foolish, simple, and childish. You understand what I'm saying? We as adults that's helping guide these artists, even helping them grow up into womanhood and manhood, we should not let the children lead. I know it's J. Cole's thing and he called the shots, but a lot of times children cannot lead. You understand what I'm saying? This is why you should have respectable, mature adults around you in your camp that'll balance all of that out. This is why you should have Jegness. This is why you should have teachers. And then back in the day, remember back in the day in the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths, Brother Rich, we had enlighteners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we were held responsible. And if we did something wrong, we had to answer to them. Or we get a beat down. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a real dynamic that is lacking in hip hop today. That is lacking in music today. I had people inside my camp coming up that we look up to. Professor Smalls is one of them individuals. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was one of those individuals that you was scared to say and do certain things. Be like, oh damn, you know, I don't want to get the backlash from one of the elders. You understand what I'm saying? You fear it's a healthy fear. They don't have that anymore because they think just because, you know, they may have a few $1 million in the bank that what they say goes. All money ain't good money, man. A lot of this money is dripping.
It took me a while in life to understand that statement, but all money definitely ain't good money, Griff. So yeah, that's definitely facts. I see a lot of people in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. A lot of people in the chat are talking about verses. Now I don't know if you ever seen verses, Swiss Beats and who's the other Timberland, where they have two of the biggest rappers at that time come together on stage. And one plays his catalog, his top 20 from his catalog. The other gentleman plays his top 20 from his catalog, and they go song for song. It was a real popular competition during the whole 2020 whole COVID thing when people were in the house. Something like that. Do you look at that? I seen somebody wrote that was versus is a low vibe subliminal competition with something like a lot of people. I looked at it as when it first came out. I looked at it as Brothers is extremely creative. Everybody's in the house. They came up with an idea to resurrect these catalogs, like Dipset. They went at the locks and shit like that, and that was like the top rated verses ever. So, what's your thoughts on something like verses for the culture? How do you feel about that?
I dug it, man. To be honest with you, I dug it because it was beautiful. It was healthy. No one died. No one mama got shot up. No one grandmama house got shot up. You understand what I'm saying? There wasn't no versus drive-by. There was no one shooting at somebody's house or shooting at a group of people throwing up the V for verses and shit. It was none of that.
Griff, they almost got into a fight though. 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs.
Yeah. I heard through the grapevine from some of my people in Louisiana. But my thing is, as long as you can rise above the occasions in those kind of situations, pull it back in and get centered and push the whole idea and the concept and the brand of verses forward. You understand what I'm saying? So for the person that said it's low vibe, subliminal, no, it wasn't. It was right in your face, and they told you what it was. That's why they called it verses. You understand what I'm saying? Beautiful branding. We got to give them two gentlemen that put that together credit. Beautiful branding. It brought people back to a place where, wow, I can enjoy the healthy competition. Because let's be honest with you, Brother Rich, and I'm going to be very transparent. When they were disrespecting Public Enemy early on, and me as the road manager decided to make the move, having deep conversations with Chuck and Terminator, saying, listen, man, I tell you what, this is the strategy. We're going to come on first. We're going to burn this damn stage down and let everyone come on after us, and we're going to see what that look like. So from day one, Brother Rich, day one, no one wanted to come on after Public Enemy. We had groups like, yo, nah, fuck that. I'm not even coming on after y'all. Let me go before y'all. I'm going to give y'all my slot. Shout out to Houdini. Shout out to EPMD. Shout out to Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Shout out to Queen Latifah, Stetsasonic. I mean, Cool Modi. I could go on and on and on. No one wanted to come on after us. That was healthy. You understand what I'm saying? In the back of your mind, you already know it's like a competition. Who could do the best? But we didn't do it for clout. We did it to satisfy the audience. You understand what I'm saying? To raise the bar, for people to go back, get your show together. You might want to add something different. We had people revamping their whole show based on what we were doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful thing because it was healthy, man. Simply because we were all friends. You understand what I'm saying? I'm friends with a lot of those individuals today, and nobody's family member had to die You understand what I'm saying? When Dougie Fresh see me to this day, he kisses me on my face. When Tretch see me, he hugs the life out of me. You understand what I'm saying? When Cool Mo D see me, he's just like, yo. You understand? No words, but the love and the honor and the respect is there. And it's mutual, it's reciprocated. I feel the same way about them. You understand what I'm saying? And I could run the whole list of people down, but it's all love. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the healthy thing about I got and I drew from verses. Because I thought I saw some R&B groups on there, and it was respect, man. It was respectful.
Yeah, definitely. What in terms of being an elder in hip hop, what message do you think if you could be on the phone with J. Cole and Kendrick right now, what message would you give to Jake, not just J. Cole and Kendrick, but Drake as well? If somebody could send them this video, what message would you give to those three young brothers right now, Griff?
I say right now, in a very subtle kind of way, respectfully, I would say to them, I know y'all at the top of your game. You understand what I'm saying? But right now, the world is watching, and you got hip hop now weighed in the balance. And depending on what you do right now, at this moment, young brothers, is going to determine whether or not people live or die, or people's career flourishes or it tanks. You understand what I'm saying? A lot is weighing on what these brothers' decision right now, and they need to kind of understand that. They need to understand that dynamic now. Personally speaking, my conversation with each three of them individuals would be totally different. I've met, out of those three, I've met Kendrick Lamar. Very humble, very knowledgeable brother, very, very good brother, just a good person, period. The Kendrick Lamar that I've met, a Kendrick Lamar that's well aware of what's happening, and at that particular time, well aware of his position and how he was moving up into the higher echelons of being one of those strategic MCs in his day and in his time right now. Never met the other two, but I'm watching how they move. You understand what I'm saying? I do have a lot of questions. I'd like to question Drake, coming from this whole Disney thing, having these other ties in his family the way he does. I want to question him on some of the things I've heard him say on stage, and why the tough guy routine. You understand what I'm saying? You a cute dude from Canada, bro. So it's like you don't have to do the tough guy thing. You understand what I'm saying? You throwing the word nigga around on your stage to garner whatever you're trying to garner. I think that's the wrong way to approach this. First, you got mixed messages. You want to do a motivational thing on stage, but yet nigga flies out your mouth like this, that, and the other. And some people are looking at you real sideways. I like to have a personal conversation with Drake and ask him some of these questions. And then with J. Cole, I salute you. I have a different level of respect for you. But I'd like to lend him my pen. Not the orange one. I got a black one over here. This one got black ink also. But I'm just saying to you, I say, bro, can you substitute this word nigga for something else? I can give you a list of terms that you could use, adjectives that you could use. You understand what I'm saying? That would elevate us. Unless you're going to give the people the definition of the black gods, which is the Nagas. All right? If you go into that science, then I can understand every other sentence you using the word nigga. And maybe that's my ignorance, and maybe I'm not allowing him to grow in the way he needs to grow. But I would love to have a conversation with him just to share not only what I've been through, what I've been observing, what caused me to put this together, what caused me to put symbology together, what caused me to have thousands of conversations with individuals like yourself doing these YouTube kind of talks to give them valuable lessons, man, and jewels that they can pull from. You understand what I'm saying? Right. I'd rather them not write me off as some old dude, some old has-been. They had their time. Oh, I'm not on that. As a matter of fact, I retitled one of my EPs that I'm putting out. And I think I called it, here this nigga come with that old black shit. I think that's what I called it. Because that's what was happening. Now, here this nigga come with this black shit. That was happening when I was coming up. It's like no one, they see you coming, like, oh, damn, we got to have that conversation. You understand what I'm saying? But it was a beautiful thing when we had ciphers, and that was, you were invited to come have the deeper conversations. So let me ask your audience, Brother Rich, When are we ever having the deeper conversations? I see 5 or 10 YouTube platforms and shows that people are doing, and everybody like, oh man, the rap fan in me wanted to see them go at it. Like, why, bro? Your ass is 55 years old. You want to see somebody shed some blood? It's like, nah, man. It's like, nah, we shouldn't want that. We should want these 3 brothers to step up to the plate and change the direction, man, of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
At this particular time, we're at a pivotal moment. Would you agree?
Definitely a pivotal moment,
Okay.
Griff. Definitely a pivotal moment.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this, Griff. Now, I want to talk to you about the idea of living your life for others versus living it for yourself. And let me give you an example, Griff, because you mentioned giving your pen to J. Cole because of his use of the word nigga. He uses it a lot in his rhymes.
Right.
Now, I want to give you an example using you, Griff. Me and you had a show once a week, every week. We had probably about a 3-year run, amazing run. I mean, millions upon millions upon millions of views. With those millions of views come people giving their thoughts, ideas, and opinions on our show. Very popular show we had. One of the things that sometimes some of the elders would say about our show was that Griff cursed too much or Rich cursed too much. So now my question to you is, the same way you want J. Cole to change up his vocab, the people at one time wanted you to change your vocab. But you know what, Griff? That's what made you have that fire, I think, during the show at that time. It was almost like a part of your spirit to express yourself a certain way. And I may be wrong, but it seemed like that. And your message got across way heavier. That led to the popularity of our show because I felt you were so authentic with your tone and your voice. So if you don't want Griff, if you don't want nobody to change the core, the essence of you, who you are, why would you want to change the core, the essence of who J. Cole is and how he chooses to express himself, Professor?
I never want J. Cole to change the essence of who he is or the core of who he is. I want him to elevate in his lyrical prowess. I want him to grow in his ability to kind of take this bastard language called English, which is a foreign language to us, and use that to grow as he's growing as an individual. And obviously he's growing as an individual. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. I think we can, as I did, grow from that and do the enemy minds and then grow into the serious minds and grow into my young eldership and take the rightful position that I need to take and not curse as much, which I think I've done that. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So people have witnessed my growth. Now, I'm not saying to you, J. Cole or Brother Rich or Kendrick Lamar or Drake, do I feel sometimes I want to get on my show and curse? Yeah, because this is a foreign language, man. And sometimes, you know, something like Erykah Badu said, man, this is for all of the motherfuckers that only stand smoking the motherfucking Newport and cracking the 40. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like what did Wesley Snipes say? Tired of talking to motherfuckers that are ice skating uphill. So when you have to go down and pull somebody up from where they are, there's just a way you got to go down and get them to pull them up. Now, once you get them up, you don't have to use the same terminology. You don't have to use the same method that you did when you approached them. Now, listen, me and my wife, we teach every other week. There's a program called Gangsters to Growers.
Right.
We talk about ex-offenders, people right out of jail, man. They're turning them over to us for us to take them, all right, and hook up with farmers, hook up with yoga instructors, hook up with brothers in the community, drummers, jegners, elders. All right, you understand what I'm saying? And help these individuals grow so they don't return back to prison and back to jail. You understand what I'm saying? There's a certain way you have to handle them. In my class, sometimes, do I gotta use certain language? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So there's certain, if I go to a Mexican community and I'm not speaking their language, how am I going to reach them? If I'm going to a group of brothers from Nigeria and I don't speak the language, how am I going to reach them? So I think that's the lesson in what I'm trying to convey to J. Cole by me lending him my pen. When I say my pen, I don't want J. Cole to write like Griff or to write like some of the stuff that we did in Public Enemy. That was from that particular time and through the lens that we were looking at the world through. J. Cole is a younger brother. He has younger eyes, younger mindset, younger energy. He's living in a different time. We didn't have to deal with cell phones and social media and all that kind of madness back then. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand his approach. I just personally don't want J. Cole to stay stuck there. And for the last 10 years, that's what I've been hearing from him. And I'm glad to hear what he said on stage, that spiritually he's growing. And to let you know straight from me to you, J. Cole, I respect you. I love you as a younger brother. And I'm here for it, bro. I'm here to watch and see you grow, because a lot of people, and I think a lot of MCs that are coming up, will follow that path, good bro.
Indeed. What do you think, Griff? Do you think female rap has been getting a lot of attention the last 2 years, more than it has ever gotten? Some of the most famous rappers right now are female rappers. Some of the most listened to, viewed, talked about rappers are female rappers, whether you're talking about Cardi B, whether you're talking about Sexy Red, whether you're talking about Nicki Minaj. But a lot of them are making a lot of noise, whether we like them, what they talk about, or not. What I want to ask you is, do you think, with all the battling going on right now between the brothers and what people are calling the hip-hop civil war, do you think this might be a way for the male rappers to steal the spotlight back from the female rappers and get the attention that they once had in hip-hop?
Brother Rich, I forgot which artist said it. He says, oh man, attention is the new currency. I think it was Chuck Flea that said it. Attention is the new currency.
Oh, Griff, don't say that, Griff.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a slip of the tongue. I'm sorry. But attention is the new currency. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that is absolutely true. And let me just put a cap on the J. Cole thing, and I'm gonna circle back around to that. If you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. Anyway, this whole idea of female rappers making noise. Listen, me and my wife, we're with our granddaughter every weekend or every other weekend, right? And she's growing now, because we've been like, helping to take care of her as a family unit ever since she was born. Now that she's 3, I hear her coming up and down the stairs. I'm hearing her run around upstairs, blah, 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 blah. She has a toy box. She's taking stuff out. The living room's a mess, blah, 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 blah. So she's making noise, and I can't determine. I'm determining what I'm hearing and the footsteps and that kind of thing, how much noise she's making, how loud it is, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Do I need to go up there and check it out? You understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying that to say this about these female rappers that you're talking about. They're making what kind of noise, Brother Rich? And how does that noise sound to our elders and our ancestors? How does that noise sound to God? I wonder what language that some of these female rappers scream out to God in and pray to God in. Is it the same language that you put on your songs? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying, when you say make noise, and they're at the top of whatever they're at the top of, I think they're at the top of this thing. I wrote it down. It's called manufactured consent. It's to create a system in which citizens become willing and obedient, consenting, and unquestioning, obeying certain principles and paradigms, all by the way of corporate-sponsored propaganda. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're only at the top of their game right now because they're allowed to be. In a minute, they're going to be sitting in Puppy's seat, or they're going to be sitting in one of these other individuals' seat. Who was the sister that got shot at that just went to court and brother got sentenced? The WAP chick. What's her name?
Megan?
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I don't wish that on anybody. But what is it that what's the price that you got to pay to be making all the noise and the kind of noise that you're making? Listen, I want these women to be successful. Not with what they're saying and the damage that they're doing to young women coming up that are looking at them now as being the way now to be successful in an industry that they really truly want to be in. But the only way they see it, being in the industry and being successful, is they got to be a stripper. You understand what I'm saying? They just have to have strip hop, or they got to talk about these particular subject matter in order to sit at the top in this rap game. You understand what I'm saying? And that comes with a price, man. It comes with a price, Brother Rich, that a lot of us are not willing to pay. And guess what? The culture pays for it, Brother Rich. Because if you, as a dad, not shielding your little one from the madness, then you gonna pay. If you don't bring people on here that can at least speak to the subject and help correct and offer some SOLUL solutions to some of this madness, then we're gone, man. We might as well say everybody needs to do it then. Everybody needs to make murder, death, kill rap songs. And everybody just go for it. Plain and simple. Everybody need to do what Jay-Z and Puffy are doing. Everyone should need to go for it. You understand what I'm saying? But what does that do for the culture, Brother Rich? What does that do for the culture of hip-hop? I think nothing. And I'm thinking the male MCs, they need to have a paradigm shift, man. We need to hit the reset button. I call it relevant realism, Brother Rich. You want to stay relevant? Let's see how real you could be other than you talking about, murking somebody or pulling out your blicky and doing whatever. Let's see how real you could be. And that's what J. Cole demonstrated to us. There's a whole lot of subjects you could talk about, Brother Rich. You know the electromagnetic field that surrounds the earth? The Akashic Records?
The Schumann resonance?
Pardon me?
Wait, you mean the Schumann resonance or the
Yeah, the Akashic Records.
Oh, the Akashic. Okay.
When you sit, I sit quiet before I do music and before I write. And I pull down like you do with a computer. You pull down what you need. And you connect with what you're feeling, what you're thinking, the idea that you have, and it connects and you do your magic, Brother Rich. I heard it in the in Cambada stuff when you did the release party, the listening party.
Right.
Some of that stuff came from someplace else, man. That's just not you and dude going in the studio, man. That stuff came from someplace else, bro. I'm not telling you the method that you use, but I'm saying what I felt and heard.
Right. A beautiful conversation, Griff. I definitely, before we get out of here, I want to get some questions from the family. Do you think, Griff, a lot of people thought you were crazy with a lot of things you were saying, and so many things are coming true as time goes by. Do you think in order to be a mainstream rapper, you have to have a handler? Like, does all of them have handlers, Griff? Is that how this game goes?
No, there's some cats that are giving us and putting us up on game on how to navigate this music industry without having these people handle you. But guess what? I'm surprised that people are surprised that a lot of people are coming out now. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna look in the camera as I say, let me take off my glasses so people can see my eyes. Professor Griff, Jaguar Wright, Black Dot, and I can name a few other people. Our words and what we said back then are maturing and they're aging well. I'm gonna put my glasses back on. They're aging well because you cannot say that you weren't warned. You can't say that we didn't say it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So people have the information, Brother Rich, but what would they do with the information, man?
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So they don't necessarily need a handler. I think it got to that point even in the crew, my crew. We didn't need people to kind of change our direction so that we can make money. We already planned it out before we got in the industry. And it wasn't until certain incidents and certain things happened that we were tested, and some of them brothers took on a handler, and you see where it's at right now. So I can't have the conversation with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake and say to them that this whole PE thing is a success story. You understand what I'm saying? The individuals are still alive. You understand what I'm saying? When that documentary film is done about what we did and then what we are doing and what we encourage other people to do, how would that play out, man, when you see some of these people doing what they're doing today, Brother Rich? I can't necessarily say that was a success story, man.
Yeah.
You can't say that. I'd be a hypocrite, man. You follow what I'm saying? So no, the answer to your question, no, they do not need a handler to handle them in this music industry.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have healthy contracts and healthy relationships with the people that's helping them navigate through this music industry. And I'm glad to say, along with you, Dot, and a few other people, even Red and Blue Pill, Wesley Muhammad, my wife Soleil, and a few other people, I'm glad to say that we put it out there and we did our job and we left them some jewels to help them navigate through it, Brother Rich. But the question is, are they watching, Brother Rich, and are they listening?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I want to let the people before I got to get out here in about 15 minutes, family. I want to give you all an opportunity to ask Griff some questions. So give me some questions in the chat, and I'm gonna ask Griff. Let me get to this first one here. I see. Where's that? Mr. West says we are creative, so why can't we create something new and safeguard it?
Exactly. That's precisely my point. You understand what I'm saying? I put the problem in the book, and then being on shows like this and doing the thousands of things that I've done online, I gave the solution. You understand what I'm saying? And I've even taken a couple of people under my belt to say, listen, if you need some assistance, here you go, call me. I'll come to the studio, do whatever. We'd have some writing sessions or whatever, and let's make it happen. So you're absolutely correct, Mr. West. We are
Indeed.
creative people, and we're going to be creative. We're going to create something new tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then what Mr. West is saying at the end of that question, we need to safeguard it. And that's the issue, Mr. West. Once we create it, the other people already have their hands on it, man. And they're trying to figure out how to package it, how to put a price on it, and who to sell it, and what to do with it as far as manipulating it, and how do they sell it on a global scale, and then how do they use it to keep people in check and under control.
Indeed. Let me get to this next question, Griff. They want to know, is hip hop A, art, B, sport, or C, both?
C, both. Sampling was a sport, remember? We sampled.
Mm-hmm.
Graffiti was a sport, man. It was a challenge, man, to hit a train late at night, scaling walls. And you ever did that, Brother Rich? I'm just asking you what you're saying. I could ask you in private, but anyway, you ain't got to answer that question.
All right.
I have. I've tagged my train I tagged the train late at night with my name and then waited for the first train to come through early in the morning to see my work. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Wow.
So of course it's a sport. It's C, it's both. It's an art. But there's one thing that I think me and Soleil was talking about, man. We're not greater than the art, though, Brother Rich.
Mm-hmm.
We're not greater than the art. The art is a lot greater than who we are as artists. The art will go on. It will evolve. You understand what I'm saying? It may go through some trials and tribulations for refinement's sake, but eventually it'll come back up and we'll see it for the greatness that it is. Yeah, it's C. It's both.
All right.
But who's the referee in the sport, though? That's the question. Who's refereeing it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what's the rules, though? You understand? What's the penalties? Is anybody getting kicked out of the game? Is anybody getting sat on the bench? You understand what I'm saying? Come on now.
All right. This is a good conversation, family. This is a real good. That's why I like having Griff on here. You have a honest, transparent, authentic conversation, man. So when I want those three qualities, I reach out to Griff. Let's get to. I just seen a one-on-one. Y'all got some good questions in the chat too. Thank you. But there was one I wanted. Damn, I don't know. Okay. The only reason why I'm gonna ask this one because I just took my son to get a haircut yesterday or the day before yesterday, and my barber was telling me that there's a lot of young brothers coming in with their fingernails painted, and he tries not to be offensive to them, but I guess he asking them questions here and there. But this individual wants to know, how do you feel about Drake's painted fingernails? A lot of brothers is doing that now. College sports players, professional athletes, artists. A lot of brothers is painting their fingernails. Griff, what's your thoughts on that, my brother?
That's a beautiful question. You know why?
Yeah.
I never gave it a second thought, man, when I seen. You remember Parliament Funkadelic?
I didn't know they painted their nails. I didn't know that.
They did everything. They wore diapers on stage and shit, bro.
Yeah, okay.
They wore blonde wigs. This is where Andre 3000 got some of his thing from.
Right, Paul. Yeah, right.
It was art when I saw Parliament Funkadelic landing the spaceship, coming out of there with diapers on and weird outfits and costumes and painting themselves up. I just thought it was art.
Right.
In a real, choose my words wisely, in a real kind of ambiguous kind of way, I respect it. When I saw Prince with the hairstyles and the clothes and the sheer this and the painted fingernails and all the other stuff Prince was doing. To me, I looked at it as art. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't take it like they're soft, they're gay, they're this, that, and the other, or they're whatever. I don't look at it in that particular, I just don't look at it in that particular kind of way. I've sat in front of elders and people that was doing readings. You understand what I'm saying? They may have their fingernails painted, a bone through their nose, or a stake going through their ear, and some other stuff.
Right.
I went among Native American cultures with all of that going on and then some. So I don't sit as judge over any of these particular individuals, how they show up. You understand what I'm saying? Only thing I know is I want them to respect the fact that and give me the space to show up as my true, authentic self. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't sit and judge over these particular individuals. I don't know the painting the fingernail culture thing. You understand? I don't know it. But when I experience and go through the life of people like Little Richard and some of these other people, I say, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. I truly get it. And I use Parliament Punkadelic because that was the group that stood out to me. It was like, wow, these dudes are on stage, man, wearing some of every goddamn thing. You know,
yeah.
For real, man.
No, definitely. Yeah, you just schooled me. I didn't know that. Shout out to Parliament. The music has some great music back in the day. Let's see.
Now wait a minute. Don't get it twisted. Now it did take me a minute to understand Dennis Rodman. Because I didn't.
Oh, Dennis Rodman, yeah, man. Wow.
No, I don't care what nobody say. Dennis Rodman was a badass basketball player, and Michael Jordan wouldn't able to have done what he did without Dennis Rodman and what's my man's name?
Pippen. Yeah. Rodman was very instrumental in those last three rings Jordan got.
You need a dude like that on your team.
Yeah.
Without the wedding dress. But I'm just saying.
He did wear a wedding dress. Damn. Well, he married himself, right? That's how.
Yeah, I think who else did that? Maya.
Okay, she did real recently. She did that, right?
Yeah,
I heard about that.
I don't know what that. See, but I don't know what that ritual is about. I don't know what that new age science is about. I'm not there. I didn't get the in-office memo. You understand what I'm saying? But what I do, Brother Rich, yet again, I'm gonna repeat this. I let people show up as their true, authentic self. I don't want them putting pressure on me though to accept or reject that. Just you be you.
You're right.
And just let me be me. I'm not sitting and judge over anyone. You understand what I'm saying? They may not like. Sometimes I wear my hat backwards. And then when they ask me, they're like, why you wear your hat backwards all the time? I said, first of all, because I designed my hat with my name back here. And then when I'm taking pictures, sometimes the flash shoots up and I don't want it to hit my bill. And sometimes when I'm doing that other work, I want to look through my scope. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on.
Oh, man. Well, no, that was, hey, I told you this is a great, James, thanks for asking that question, James, because I definitely enjoyed the approach Griff took with that answer. And I forgot all about Parliament Funkadelic and their costumes and all that. I remember Andre 3000 and Dennis Rodman, but I forgot it goes way back there, man. So yeah, this is a different life is a very interesting thing, and people present themselves a certain way, artistic. So yeah, it gets real interesting. Let's get to a couple of more questions before we get out of here. But thanks for the questions, y'all. Good questions. Let's see. What y'all talking about in the chat. Somebody wants to know, is there a limit, Griff, to what's considered art? Is there a limit to that, Griff?
Who sets the limit? Look at Basquiat. Basquiat started out, dealing with drugs, dealing with issues, dealing with mental health issues, dealing with mental wellness, which I think J. Cole alluded to, just his mental wellness. So Basquiat painted and expressed himself through a couple of thousand paintings. You understand what I'm saying? And sold his stuff on the street. And, until he met Mr. Warhol and Andy and changed his life. You understand what I'm saying? So if someone would have set limits on Basquiat, would his paintings be sold for $10 million? Not today. I don't think so. We have to let people kind of express themselves however they express themselves. But in that case, who sets the limit though? Who is to tell Griff, okay, or Public Enemy, yo, that's too much noise in your songs, man. Y'all need to kind of turn down the treble, man. You understand what I'm saying? Who sets the limit? Since Bobby Hemmett said the creativity is in the strange.
Is in the strange. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about necessarily in the strange, but I think the manifestation of what those individuals are putting together, their lyric, which is art in and of itself, the creative aspect of marrying the lyrics to the music and then taking the lyrics and the music in a recording on black wax, and then now having to let people see what they're used to hearing. I hear the song, but now I see these brothers and sisters on stage. It's like, oh, I get it now. You're an outcast. So this is why you're dressing the way you're dressing. You're demonstrating to us, I'm going to be myself regardless. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to be Andre 3 Stacks regardless of what anybody think. And if I feel like wearing furry boots, leopard skin, spandex, a crazy hat and some glasses, whatever, that's what the hell I'm going to do. Plain and simple.
Okay.
So creativity is in the strange, man. But the essence of God, essence of the creator lies within your imagination.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get to this next question, Griff. This brother wants to know why hip-hop stopped making it mandatory for artists to freestyle, showing the real MC skills.
Was that, I don't know how old that individual is, but that was never mandatory. Like, what do you mean? That was not a mandatory thing in hip-hop. Back in the day, we was trying to impress some chicks, man. So if you weren't an MC, you better come up with a rhyme with your name in it. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be up in that space, you better know how to tag. You better you better bust one or two breakdance moves. You understand what I'm saying? You better know some old school original beats and what groups that these beats came from and who made them. So there's certain things that was mandatory. You understand what I'm saying? Your gear was mandatory. You follow what I'm saying? The way you stood on the wall in the park or at the gig was mandatory, but freestyling was not necessarily mandatory. I know some of the greatest MCs of today right now that don't freestyle, man. So I don't know what that means.
I think what he's talking about in the era I grew up in my early 20s, the whole Rockefeller, Rough Riders era. That's when Jay was battling freestyling with X and all of them to show how good they were. We had shows like Freestyle Fridays, 106 in Park. We had shows like The Basement on Rap City where they would go in the basement with Big Tigger. So all the best MCs will always spit a freestyle. They would go on Flex or the radio and spit a freestyle. In this era, nobody really cares about even showing that they could freestyle. I don't even think the people care if the artists now can freestyle. So I think that's what he was talking about. That whole Rough Riders, Murder Inc., 50 Cent era, Jay-Z era, all of them was out there freestyling. I think that's what he's
saying. Let me apologize to Mr. Campbell. I checked out during that period. I checked out because, and I was being an observant individual from the sidelines, looking in, but still being in it. This is why I put this together at the end of all of that. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why I had to do this, because now you see cats, not only are they not freestyling, they're rapping over their own lyrics, their own voice. So what does that say? When you put on a track and you just put on a song and you rap over it and they're paying you 10 stacks, how does that work, man? So I understand what you're saying, Mr. Campbell, and that's a beautiful question. But you came up at a different time than when I came up. You understand what I'm saying? I think the most important thing at that particular time that I was coming up is actually getting put on. That was the whole thing, because we were tired of just being in this thing, doing it in our mom's garage or in the basement. You follow what I'm saying? I want to get put on, and I think that was the thing at that particular time. So whether somebody could freestyle or not, the freestyling thing was an added bonus to do what Lauryn Hill can do. Do you understand what I'm saying? What's the brother name from Chicago or Detroit? Royce the 5'9" or Super MC or one of these other cats to do what they do. To do what some of the cats I see in these MC battles now, to do what they do. That's an extra added bonus. You understand what I'm saying? The whole freestyling thing. So yeah, beautiful question, man. And I think we just kind of came up at two different times. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed. Let's get to one more question before we get out of here, man. I can't thank you enough, man. It's been a wonderful show, Griff. Can't thank you enough for coming on the show. Somebody wants to know, well, I think Griff already touched on that. This question makes me think about so they're asking, where was hip hop created? Before you answer that, Griff, are you on the new documentary with Tariq Nasheed, the microphone check?
No.
Okay. No. All right. Just checking. All right. Yeah, this brother wants to know, where was hip hop created, Griff?
Hip hop was created in the essence and in the soul of Black folks. You understand what I'm saying? Hip hop was created in the soul, man. The intricate working of Black people's soul. In the dirt, when we had to carve instruments, and we gave them names like the djembe, when we had to pound out steel to make the cowbell and some of these other instruments that we had to express ourselves, when we had to take nuts off the tree and make shakers. You understand what I'm saying? When we had to craft, when the griots told the stories back in any village in Africa, when we came up with those patterns to connect with certain rituals that went on an annual basis. You understand what I'm saying? Hip hop was created in the souls of Black folks. Then we gave it to everyone else. That's where hip hop was created. Plain and simple. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And I'll take anyone to task on it if they call me, or if you want to talk about it. Hip hop was created in the souls of Black folks. And this corny story that they tell you about hip hop started out in the Bronx. No, because there was a whole thing happening in Brooklyn way before the Bronx. I'm going to say that again in English with a beat behind me. There was something going on with the foundation of hip hop, with DJs going on with DJs in Brooklyn before the Bronx thing even happened, man. But even before Brooklyn, there was something happening in the souls of Black folks on the continent. It came in the souls of Black folks, and we just did what we normally do. We told the stories in rhythmic form. We danced in ceremony, as Black Dot teaches in his book, Hip Hop Decoded. You understand what I'm saying? And we tagged our names. All right, whether it's with the Dogon or whether it's with the brothers and sisters of ancient Kemet, we tagged our name. The books written in stone, as Ashwa Kwesi talk about in ancient Kemet, Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? And then we use our voices to tell those particular stories. And we've always communicated with the talking drum, the doom doom. You understand what I'm saying? We always use the talking drum to communicate. So then when you start seeing people, different cultures throughout history, you see the Native American using the talking drum. Our Latin brothers and sisters using the talking drum. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, it started in the souls of black folks, man.
Indeed. Once again, Griff, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show. Griff, let the people know anything you got coming up. I know you just said you and Soleil do something. We're doing something with the inmates, brothers that just got released. Let them know your website or anything on the resurrection formula. Yo, I heard the people, man. I heard they came and they took every resurrection formula that you got, man.
Yeah, and in fact, the next batch we're pouring in about 8 more days. We're shaking it up. We're looking at it. We're making sure it's right. You understand what I'm saying? So all of them orders that people ordered the last time me and Soleil was on, I'm gonna fill those orders, and then I'll have some left over, and I'm gonna get you your couple of bottles. But the Serious Minds Brain Tonic has been selling off the chain to a lot of people with brain fog, man. You understand what I'm saying? So the Serious Minds Brain Formula.
See, Griff, you ain't give me that one, man. You ain't
No,
give me that one.
I got a package for you, bro.
Okay,
I got a package for you because this will clear up all that brain fog. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And, it'll stimulate some of those synapses because these things need to fire off. You understand what I'm saying? When we need them to fire off. But there's a beautiful thing that I'm putting together after the Malcolm X Festival in Atlanta. And you're invited to it. It's called Three to God Way. High Infinite Power. It's High Infinite Power, Three to God Way. Myself, Minister Server from Boogie Down Production, Paradise Gray from X-Clan, and Professor Griff from Public Enemy. We're doing a 3-part DJ set in the after party after the Malcolm X Festival, May 18th. May 18th, after party, Three to God Way, High Infinite Power, Professor Griff Server, and Paradise Gray. You know Paradise Gray is legally blind, but he's gonna come. He's gonna come DJ for us. We're gonna represent those 3 conscious groups that came up in the 80s and set consciousness in motion. Public Enemy, Boogie Down Production, and X-Clan. Red and Blue Pill definitely going to be in the building with a host of other people that I invited. I mean, this is your personal invitation right now, Brother Rich. Three to God Way,
Thank you.
High Infinite Power. May 18th is the after party to the Malcolm X Festival. That's Saturday, May 18th. Everyone is invited. I'm going to get the flyer to you. I'm going to put the flyer up on Facebook, and I'm going to get the flyer out to the people. So come on through. The other thing, Brother Rich, me and King Simon are releasing children books. All right. My book is called Now You Know. You understand what I'm saying? I borrowed Biggie's lyrics. If you don't know, so now you know. And it's a history of hip hop coming through a lens of through a child, through a 7 through a 15-year-old. You understand what I'm saying? They need to have those bits and pieces on cap. So when they're doing their art, they can understand and give respect to where respect is due, to the founding fathers, to the elders, and to the ancestors, and ultimately to the creator for those gifts that they have. So the resurrection formula is pouring in a week and a half. I still have Serious Minds Brain Tonic on deck. And of course, you already know, Brother Rich, the psychological covert war on hip hop is a very valuable tool for those individuals to dive in it to understand what's going on right now with Puffy, with what's going on in the music industry, and to tie some of these things together. So I really appreciate you for allowing me to be on your platform so I can speak to the J. Cole's, the Kendrick Lamar's, and the Drakes, and just to our people, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed. Griff, brother named Miguel wants to know, where did Professor Griff say we get the products?
Oh, you can text me at 678-557-2919. At 678-557-2919, or just go to my website, www.professorgriff.me. That's professorgriff.me. All of the products are there. You got my phone number. Text me, hit me up. I got you, fam. And please, those people that already ordered the resurrection formula, I got y'all. I got everybody's name. Brother Rich, guess what I did? I took everybody's email address. I sent everybody an email with my phone number. Call me, and I'll give you an update on where your order is.
Damn. Them people, them people. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When y'all get it, man, it's gonna be worth it. When y'all get it, it's gonna be worth it. Amazing product, Griffin Soleil got. I want y'all to keep up the great work, man. It's beautiful seeing brothers and sisters come up with amazing products, amazing inventions, amazing music, amazing everything. Such a creative people, and I just look forward to showcasing all the amazing talent and products and services out there. Griff, I'm gonna talk to you soon, brother. We got to talk about the self-defense classes, as well as a couple of other things, brother. So I'm gonna talk to you in a couple of days. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show tonight. I will be back Wednesday. I'm not gonna say the guest yet, but I'll be back Wednesday. Peace and love, everybody. Peace, Griff.
All right, peace, good bro. Peace.